So tell me about your role and how did you get into it?
I play Sergeant Jeffrey Pugiles of the Watertown Police Department, and I got into it because I kind of happened to look like Sergeant Jeffrey Pugiles of the Watertown Police Department. And when Pete was casting the movie, and he had an opportunity to meet Jeff and talk to him and hear his story, then he came to me with it, and I was initially a little bit reluctant, honestly, to be involved in a movie retelling those real events. But once I met Pete and saw his passion for it, and realized more of the details of Jeff Pugiles and his effect on the whole thing, then I wanted to do it.
So tell me, what did you find about this event that you didn't know before you were filming?
There was a lot that I didn't know, and I think it was one of those things. I was in New York at 9/11, and being that close to those kinds of events, and communicating with family and friends around the country and around the world, you realize how the physical distance that you have from something really has an effect. I was here in Los Angeles. I was working during the Patriots Day bombings in 2013, and like most people, I was horrified by it, and paying attention to what was happening, and they caught the first bad guy, and then a couple of days later they caught the second bad guy, and thinking, great, I'm glad they at least got those guys, and it's horrible what happened, but now we can put a bow on it and move on. And then again, meeting Pete, and then having the opportunity to meet Jeff and work with him, learning all of the details of his specific impact on it was really remarkable.
So how intense was it to work with Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg? Do they act as if they're real brothers? Do they have a real good camaraderie?
Yeah. I mean, these guys are definitely sort of attached at the hip, or at the brain, or something. Well, I didn't get to actually work with Mark on this one. I'd worked with Mark before, and had a great time, and I was going to say always had, but that's not true. Really developed an appreciation for Mark as an actor, and a guy that I give a lot of credit to for being an actor who's really developed and has a great range, really, as an actor, between comedy and drama, and just has such an earthy, natural quality about him that I just always believe what he's doing. And particularly in this case, obviously, this is a very deeply personal story to him. This is his people. It's he's a Boston guy, and the personal nature of that story from his point of view was, I think, shows through in the whole movie. As far as working with Pete, he's like an overgrown 9-year-old out there, and a guy that even in this scenario that we're recreating, which was obviously tragic and dramatic and awful, he's a guy that just makes a movie set feel like both an important and a fun place to be.
So tell me what this movie is truly about for you.
I think, well, for me personally, it was truly about honoring Jeff Pugiles and his impact on the story. And in the bigger picture, I think the movie states it very well, that it tells a story of the human spirit and our ability to overcome and ultimately just love triumphing over hatred.
So we're going through a surprising and challenging political times right now in America. How do you see the next year unfolding, and what are your hopes for 2017?
Politically, I abstain. My hopes for 2017 is, as it always is, regardless of how contentious politics is at a given time, because it's always contentious, sometimes more than others. My hope is that we can find ways to come together and realize that at the end of the day, maybe we kind of want the same thing.